Once your run with the Hillary Clinton campaign was done, how much time went by before you decided you were going to jump into this other documentary?
Well, I was pretty depressed. It was for about 6 months, it was pretty personal. And about a month went by. I'm back home here in Los Angeles, and I got an email from a producer that I know, and she said there's this guy named Guy who lives in Israel, who grew up in the United States, who is interested in making a film about American value systems, and because you had worked on the campaign and because you have a diverse film background, I thought about you immediately and thought that you could be a good fit to chat about his concept for a film. And essentially Guy said that he had been doing a lot of reading about American value systems and how they're created, how our daily choices in life and how they're expressed in elections are directly correlated with the value systems that we identify as being American, which is a really broad topic, right? And so that was the first thing I said. I was like, I agree with you, but I don't know how one makes a 90-minute film about that because it's such a broad topic. And so we started talking and we realized that you could start sorting those into tangible examples for issues like immigration, technology, and isolation, and other things. And then we started figuring out how to make it. And we did our first shoot at the end of 2016, 2 weeks before the inauguration in 2017. And we've been shooting across the country ever since, and we're going to finish shooting it in July and August of this year, 2019, to release it before the election in 2020. It's not a political film, even though politics is an element. It's neither liberal nor conservative, which might be surprising to someone considering I worked on Hillary's campaign. But growing up in a small town in South Georgia, I see the world in this very specific way where I can see how to or at least I can understand how many people come to many different thought processes just from life experience. And so if we pull it off, I think it's going to be a good film to really explain how we as a society create our identity and how that's informed by a long line of history from civilizations that came before America.
Interesting. And are you doing it by like in 10-year increments too, since things have changed?
Well, that's a good question, but it's really about a snapshot of now, and then we're putting that in context of other civilizations that have risen and fallen effectively, using a myriad of tangential subjects in the Northeast, a bunch of academic and journalistic experts from major organizations across the country, and we'll be putting those things together. And it's not that we're reinventing a wheel here. There's a lot of this information that's out there, but it's in different books or different pieces, and really what we're trying to do is take all of those elements and combine them together into a singular place where you can have a better understanding about how things work.
And I'm sorry, Guy is a...
I'm sorry, I didn't explain.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Guy is a political consultant and academic and entrepreneur. He lives in Israel. He does a mixture of all those things. And so he's worked on campaigns, he's created companies, he's done a lot in a variety of spaces. He's never done a film before. And so that has been an interesting process to go through with a group of people that don't really work in film and kind of bring them into a filmic process and try to take something from academia and put it in something that's digestible for a main audience.
So Guy is in Israel.
He's in Israel,
and
yes.
Do you do like Skype?
We have phone calls, international phone calls at weird hours. He does come to America. He goes back and forth between here and there. When we did our first assembly edit last year with Carlos Puga, who was the producer of True Life on MTV, he's also had several films at Sundance and South by that have won jury awards. He did the edit with us, and we're using that edit to inform what we're about to shoot this summer, so that way we can use that to finish the film. And so Guy has been going back and forth between here and there. So it's always interesting when you're working with people on multiple time zones around the world.
And you say you want to have it as sort of a general statement. You're not for one side or the other.
Certainly. And so, I mean, that's, I think philosophically as a director, it doesn't matter if you're making a narrative film or a documentary. I think that, in fact, doing both makes the other better, in fact, as far as your work goes. But your job is to get inside the mind of a character, right? So if it's a documentary, it's understanding how that person has become the person they are and what that A to B is. When you're directing a narrative film, it's understanding the same psychology of character. And so I find that using those processes and trying to figure out how to make something that is broad-based, it doesn't matter what your personal opinion is about a character or a subject. You have to divorce yourself from that. It matters that you understand how they got there. And that's really, to my mind, one of the first jobs of a director creatively.